Alright, today I'm going to do my version of an unboxing. I had purchased the Chapin cedar. I looked at the difference between the Chapin and the Earthway. The Earthway is typically, I would probably say, the more popular from what I can tell. But there's a specific reason that I got the Chapin. They're pretty much almost identical, with the exception of one thing that I'm really aware of on it. So anyway, here's my version of an unboxing. This is the box it came in. There. This is what came in the box. This, which is the little plow, the row marker, tells you how, if you're doing the spacing, you want to keep your spacing right. The handle. The instruction manual. A bag of nuts and bolts. A little pouch that contains the 6 discs. And I'll kind of go over those in a little bit. With the Earthway, you also get 6 discs. But there's a difference between the Chapin and the Earthway. And the main difference is, let me move this a minute. The main difference is this. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit, try to here. Alright, this part right here is the main difference between the Earthway and the Chapin. This is the little plow that plows through the dirt, and the seed tube, drop tube is down through here. On the Earthway back here, if you're from the Gulf Coast, you're going to know what I'm talking about, where they do a lot of shrimping. On the Earthway back here, they use what's called a tickle chain. And that tickle chain is what covers the seed back up. On the Chapin, it actually uses a solid, I'm going to just say it, I'm probably getting this wrong, but a reverse plow. It's spring loaded, so it rides along the ground and whatever else, but this is a positive way of covering the seed back up. The tickle chain method probably works real good on real loamy soil that is soft and everything else and stuff like that. But if you're here, especially in central Texas and probably other parts of the country where you have more of a clay soil or a hard gumbo soil like what we have, a tickle chain is a hit and miss, people. It's just not going to do it. You need this more positive way of covering the seed back up. The other thing, and I'm not 100% sure on this, on the Earthway, the rear tire wheel on it, I believe, is a little bit narrower than this, because you're using a combination of two things when the seed's getting covered back up. The plow plows the ground, seed drops through, covers back up with this, or tickle chain in the case of the Earthway. Then the rear wheel on the cedar kind of like packs it a little bit. The wider one will pack it, but because it's wider, the compaction won't be as hard than a narrower rear wheel. Also, if you're kind of walking, wiggling around with the wider wheel, if you happen to wiggle the back, you still get the compaction. So I think, and I can only go by the pictures of the Earthway, I think the Earthway's rear wheel is narrower, I believe. Okay? Now, the seed hopper. And you're probably wondering why I got 2 sets of glasses on. That's my way of doing bifocals, people. Okay? Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on this. Hopefully you'll be able to see this on the video. This is the inside of the cedar where you'd put the seeds. Right in here, you're going to see this area here. That's where you drop and snap the seed disc on. and there's different ones for different seeds. Then you would put it, of course it'd be standing up like this, and you'll fill it with seeds, okay? The other thing too that you've got is on the seed drop tube, and it's also where the plow goes on. It's marked to tell you the depth that you're going to be dropping the seed. So we take the seed, the plow that goes on the seeder, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the video, but on the side of this one here, I'm not sure on the Earthway if it's this way, but on the Chapin, you've got this little handle that you would turn to tighten it. Okay? Now this is a spring-loaded handle that you pull out and it freewheels. And hopefully you can see that. And then it locks back on to actually turn the bolt. This is really nice because you're not going to have a lot of room to turn the handle round and round once it's on here. So we're going to try to get this here. Maybe if I don't know. I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so I'm going to go upside down here. So anyway, you got this that slides up and down. We want to set it by reading the deal here, and then we're going to see how it hits, so we can now. I'm trying to do this reaching over people, so so excuse me here. I can reach over there, spring that back, click it, and tighten it. Bring it back, click it back in, tighten. And I can continue this until the plow's tightened up. Then I can move it out of the way. So now the plow's tightened up at whatever depth I've got it set on. And as you can see, I'm kind of down a little bit, so I'm going to lower this just a minute. All right, so we've got the plow down, and if it was set for whatever depth, then once I dropped it off the kickstand and started pushing, it would go on down. Now, as far as this assembly, there's very little assembly. It's just putting this on, snapping whichever seed disc you want in here, and the initial putting on the row marker and putting on the handle. The bolts are a metric head works. You probably use a 7/16 SAE on it. Size looks like about a quarter, but a 10 millimeter works. It's got the captive nuts so that they don't vibrate loose. You're basically going to put this on down into here. If I'm not mistaken, it goes inside here, and there'll be 4 bolts that will put that on there. Okay? And I'm not going to take you through the pain of me bolting that on, but I'll show you the completed thing when it's done. The same thing with the handle. And it's got a little knob here for whatever reason. I don't know what that's on there for. I guess it's so you can, it's so you can adjust this off to the side. So hang on a minute, let me pull these off. So it's got this little knob on the handle. You can loosen this up, which allows you to slide the handle from side to side a little bit if you want to, and lock it back down if you don't want it in the center. If you want the handle kind of off to one side. There again, it goes right up here, and it's bolted on again with 4 bolts. So I'm not going to make you suffer through the time of me putting it on, and we'll just I'm going to stop the video, and I'll come back after it's assembled and show you the assembled unit. Okay, now I've got it assembled. Got the handle on, and I know you can't see the top of it up there, but in the video, but it's got a little clip here that holds this up. You have to have this down where it'll fit in between the handles. And also, for whatever reason, they got some crazy angle on this thing, and I didn't find a way that it could ever match the angle that this was up. And probably if you could turn this all the way around with this offset down, you could do it, but you can't really turn it all the way around that I'm aware of and get the offset down. Just not going to do it. So, anyway, we got that. Hello, baby.
Hey.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm finishing up my video. Yeah, that's all right. So anyway, I'm almost done. So anyway, other than that, I've got some little Velcro tie things that I may put up here to do that instead. And like I said, now that little knob that's up the top that I showed you to adjust, you can also hang this bag on that, or it's also got a Velcro where you can just hang it around the handle. You want to hang it there to hold that in it. This is where you store your seed plates in here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this down a minute. And like I said, this is where you would store your seed plates in here. There's 6 of them in here. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but they look like almost the identical configuration of plates that the Earthway would have. I don't know. Where would that come in advantage if you had the Chapin? The Chapin, I think this is the only plate you can get, which is just about anything you would need for most stuff. But if you wanted to customize a plate on the Earthway, there is available a blank plate. So that's the only other thing. The other thing that you can do is like, this is like I think a corn, I'm not sure right off the top of my head, but if the spacing wasn't right and you wanted to space it out, you could just put you a piece of painter's tape or masking tape over every other hole, and that would increase the spacing. Because of the manual, and I'll try to do a screenshot in here, and maybe I can zoom in and show you and get enough where I can freeze it, but you know, hopefully we'll see if I can zoom into this and then get a good shot of it. Hopefully we can get a good shot of this that I can then clip out and put in the video. I don't know though. Looks like it's glaring a little bit. So if not, I'll get another shot. This is a deal thing showing all the different seed plates that come with it. Anyway, that's about it. Until next time, thanks for watching. It'll probably be a little bit over a month where I actually use the Chapin seeder. It's like January 23rd or something like that, I think, right now. And down here in Central Texas, you know, last freeze or last frost is usually first part of March and whatever else. So it'll probably be around that time when I actually go out and do the beans. They'll be the first one. And then it'll be towards the end of March, or the latter part of March, when I do some of the other stuff, and possibly the corn at that time. So, you know, probably about a month and a half, I'll do a video on actually using the Chapin seeder. Like I said, until next time, thanks for watching. And I know you heard my wife come in, and I called her baby, and I told her I loved her. That's one of the secrets to our marriage. At least I think it is. I tell my wife I love her at least 20, 30 times a day. So, seems to work. Till later. Thanks. Right?